My name is Sarah Chen, and I'm a late-night radio host at WXPR 104.7. Or at least, I was. What I'm about to tell you happened 3 weeks ago, and I still can't sleep without the lights on. It started like any other Thursday night. I arrived at the station around 10 p.m. for my midnight to 6 shift. The building was practically empty. Just me, the humming equipment, and the darkness pressing against the windows. Our station is old, built in 1952, and it's seen better days. Peeling paint, flickering lights, and a basement nobody wants to go into. But the pay was decent, and I loved talking to the night owls who called in. Around 1:30 a.m. I got a call. Nothing unusual. People called all the time requesting songs or just wanting someone to talk to. WXPR, you're on the air, I said cheerfully. Silence, then breathing. Slow, deliberate breathing. Hello? I tried again. If you want to request a song, you'll need to speak up. Then came a voice. Low, raspy, like sandpaper on glass. I'm listening to you, Sarah. I'm always listening. The line went dead. I felt a chill run down my spine. The caller ID showed unknown. I tried to shake it off. Prank calls happened occasionally. But how did they know my name? I tried to focus on my show, playing requests and reading the weather. But I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The station's windows were too dark. I couldn't see outside, only my own reflection staring back at me. At 2:15 a.m. the phone rang again. Same number. Unknown. I hesitated, but answered. It's my job. WXPR? That voice again. You shouldn't have answered, Sarah. Now I know you're alone. My blood ran cold. Who is this? This isn't funny. Look at the window behind you. I spun around in my chair. My reflection stared back at me in the dark glass. But then I saw it. A second reflection. A figure standing behind me in the booth. I screamed and turned around. Nothing. The booth was empty. I grabbed my phone and called building security. No answer. I called the station manager. Straight to voicemail. It was just me and whoever, or whatever, was making these calls. I decided to trace the calls. Our old system had a feature that could triangulate local calls. My hands shook as I pulled up the software. The results made my stomach drop. The calls were coming from inside the building. From the basement. Nobody goes to the basement. There's old equipment down there, archive recordings from decades ago, and a persistent rumor that a DJ died down there in the 70s. Heart attack, they said. But some people whispered it was something else. The phone rang again. I stared at it, my heart pounding. Against every instinct, I answered. I'm coming up now, Sarah. I've been waiting so long to meet you. I heard it then. Footsteps. Slow, methodical footsteps echoing through the empty hallway outside my booth. They were coming from the direction of the basement stairs. I locked the booth door, a flimsy thing that wouldn't stop anyone determined. I killed the lights and crouched behind my desk, watching the door's small window. The footsteps stopped right outside. Through the window I saw a shadow. Then a face pressed against the glass. But it wasn't human. Not anymore. The skin was pale, almost translucent, stretched too tight over the skull. The eyes were completely black, like pools of ink. And the mouth was smiling, far too wide, revealing too many teeth. Let me in, Sarah. I just want to talk, like we used to. Like we used to. I'd never seen this thing before in my life, but then it spoke a name I hadn't heard in years. Don't you remember me? It's Marcus. Marcus Webb. We worked together. Marcus Webb. The name hit me like a freight train. He was a DJ here in the late 90s. I'd seen his photo in the station's history wall. Young, smiling, full of life. But he disappeared one night during his shift. They found his car in the parking lot, his jacket in the booth, but Marcus was gone. The case went cold. Marcus is dead, I whispered. The thing at the door laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Dead? No, Sarah. I'm more alive than ever. Down here in the dark, with all the voices, all the recordings, all the screams they never broadcast. I realized then what had happened. Marcus hadn't disappeared. He'd gone to the basement and never came back. And somehow, he'd become part of the station itself, trapped in the old equipment, feeding on the electromagnetic waves. "You're not Marcus anymore," I said, finding my voice. "You're something else. I'm what the darkness makes us. And soon, Sarah, you'll understand. Soon you'll join us, all the hosts who came before. We're all down here waiting, broadcasting on frequencies no one can hear." The doorknob started to turn. I hadn't heard a lock click, but it was opening anyway. I did the only thing I could think of. I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall and smashed the booth's exterior window. The glass shattered, and cold night air rushed in. Behind me, the door burst open. I didn't look back. I dove through the window, cutting my arms on the remaining shards, and hit the ground outside running. I heard it behind me. Not footsteps anymore, but something else. A sound like static, like white noise given form and fury. The parking lot lights flickered and died as it emerged from the building. I saw it fully then in the moonlight. Marcus, or what wore his face, was no longer trying to appear human. Its body was wrong, twisted, made of shadows and old magnetic tape that writhed like living things. Its voice came from everywhere and nowhere, broadcasting on a frequency that made my ears bleed. "You can't leave, Sarah. You're part of the signal now." I don't remember getting to my car. I don't remember the drive home. I woke up in my apartment with the sun streaming through my windows, my arms bandaged, my clothes torn. I quit that day. Sent an email. Never went back. The station manager said they'd found the booth destroyed, but no sign of a break-in. No sign of anything unusual. They thought I'd had a breakdown. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. 3 days after that night, I was driving home from the grocery store when my car radio turned on by itself. I hadn't been listening to the radio. The button was off. Static filled the car. Then, through the noise, I heard it. That voice. "You can't escape the signal, Sarah. We broadcast forever. And one night, when you're alone, when you're listening, we'll call you back." I ripped the radio out of my dashboard with my bare hands. But even now, in the dead of night, I sometimes hear it. In the white noise of my TV, in the static between stations, in the silence that isn't quite silent. Marcus Webb is still broadcasting, and I think he's not alone anymore. I think there are others. All the missing DJs, all the people who worked late nights and disappeared. So if you're listening to this, if you work at a radio station, if you're alone in the dark with your equipment humming around you, be careful what calls you answer, because some broadcasts never end, and some voices never die.